I remember.
This obviously started with Yanukovych and has now progressed to different issues. But I don't think they can keep up this speed. I don't think it's healthy to have such a speed. I mean, new laws and legislation needs to be thought about carefully. Statements need to be thought about carefully as well, particularly in Ukraine, where one statement can be taken as a divisive thing in another part of the country. They remember, Ukrainians have good memories, and they remember her period in office. Going on about that. For God's sake, Yanukovych should have resigned. I mean, what sort of man? Well, I think the army is now quite clearly on the side of the protesters. I think the generals have made statements to that end. But I do think the reason why the army kept such a position was basically because of the reforms and relationships that they've had with NATO over the last few years, which has actually changed the mentality and thinking and culture of this of the army in Ukraine, which is quite positive, because I don't think there was any real threat at any point of the army intervening and attacking and killing Ukrainian citizens. Predictable. I think it has a wholly predictable foreign policy, and basically the official Ukrainian police in the Berkut have now basically all changed sides, as far as I understand. I mean, the Berkut, many of them have been seen crying in the streets and apologising for the actions that took place. But of course, in some areas of eastern Ukraine, you do have, elements which could probably be mobilised and create some sort of, unofficial, I wouldn't call them a police force, but a guerrilla movement to make trouble. But again, I don't think that this is going to be some sort of mass movement. I don't think they're a serious threat. But still, there needs to be, a voice of inclusivity coming from the new leadership in Kiev.
We have a president now who is hiding, nowhere to be seen. We have a opposition leader who was freed, and as soon as she was freed, already people that were maybe expecting that she would come on in some sort of presidential role, the people on the streets have said no, we do not want her as a new leader. So it's fascinating how things are moving, and I think it's the role that the people have played, the real sort of civil society standing up for freedom, for human dignity, for justice. The actual role that journalists have played in the whole process. The Parliament's been there since all this kicked off. So the Parliament is there, and it's a working Parliament. There was a change of leadership of the Parliament. Previously the head of the Parliament, he stepped down, and there's a new head of Parliament who's also acting President, Mr. Turchinov. This is purely until the new parliamentary and the presidential elections take place, very likely to be in May of this year. So it's the Parliament's there, it's working, a new government is in place. So I think now there is a real opportunity for a EU bailout package to be implemented.